people think of the two most popular cities in Canada, Vancouver and Toronto are definitely up there. So what's a better way to compare the two that have one person who's living in Toronto and one who's living in Vancouver?
We will be showing you guys the differences between the two cities throughout different weeks, and this week we're going to be talking about the overall community of Toronto and Vancouver.
So to start off, we'll talk about the size of the city. The size of Toronto is probably 2 times the size of Vancouver. The population of Toronto is 2 million compared to just under 1 million in Vancouver. So the city being so big in Toronto that you'll never get bored of it. You can go anywhere, you can explore any place you want. Everywhere is new. One disappointing or disadvantage of Toronto is that it is so big that the travel time probably the same as the time you spend it at the destination. And that's probably not what you want. Let's say your travel time is 40 minutes, you'll spend an hour at the destination, and that's most likely not enough. One big reason for that is that the transit system is absolutely horrible. It's garbage. If you have a car, if there's no traffic, you'll be fine. But if you're transiting like me, for you to get from point A to point B, the city is so big that there's very little stops in between. So there's maybe 3 stops in between, and just so happens if your destination is in between those 2 stops, you're gonna have to pick one spot to get off of. And you're gonna walk maybe 20 minutes just to get to your destination. And that's something I hate. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure no one wants to walk 20 minutes just to get to the destination. But that's something you have to deal with if you pick to live in such a big city.
So the overall size of Vancouver is pretty much what Derek said. It's pretty much just half of what Toronto already is. It's pretty convenient to get around the city without the public transit available. However, the buses are usually late and sometimes they come with pretty grumpy bus drivers. And during rush hour, just like any other city, expect heavy traffic while you're driving or just jam-packed SkyTrains or buses if you're taking the public transit system.
Daytime activities. This is probably the biggest difference between Vancouver and Toronto. So Toronto is very reliant upon an urban environment. So this is to say that everything people do during the day is within a big building, a man-made structure, anything of that sort. You know, the heart of the city is in downtown. There is no nature, there's no hiking trails, there's no mountains, there's no ski resorts, nothing of that sort. Everyone in Toronto always says they want more, but the reality is that everyone pretty much shops, goes to concerts, and goes to sporting events during the day. In downtown, there's so many individual stores, so many big malls, you know, institutions that people can go to, and every few steps, every maybe 5-minute walk, you'll get from one big mall to another big mall. And that is good or bad depending on how you want to view it.
So the overall nature scene in Vancouver is really big. You will often catch people jogging or biking along our famous seawall, through Stanley Park, or even up and down hiking trails. The city of Vancouver is basically surrounded by nature, so you can get out of the city within less than an hour and just start skiing right away. You can also explore beautiful waterfalls, trestles, or even other ski resorts all within 2 hours from downtown Vancouver. Everyone in Vancouver is always super active regardless of the rainy weather that we usually get.
And the nightlife of Toronto compared to Vancouver. What can I say? Toronto is that much better compared to Vancouver when we're talking about nightlife. It is vastly, majorly, incredibly better. There's so many more things to do. Everything's open late. Clubs, arcades, even malls. Everything is open late, especially in December. During the holidays, everything is open late. So at night you'll see people going out with their friends, going out with their families. And if you hit the right time, which is around 10 o'clock to midnight, everything in one location, if you're in the right spot, is open. It's just an overall fun time to be in Toronto, and that's what a lot of people come for. And that's why a lot of young people like to travel or live in Toronto.
So the nightlife of Vancouver is definitely not as exciting as Toronto is. Everything closes pretty early except for clubs, and honestly there aren't that many. If you want to go to more family-friendly public places such as malls, stores, parks, everything closes around 9 p.m. here. Restaurants are usually open all day until 12 a.m. but some of them aren't really family-friendly after a certain time. If you really want to experience the city at night, there's really only walking down Granville Street or maybe through Gastown and exploring the nightlife there. There are several major clubs scattered throughout the city, and each one of them offer a different genre of music. So whether you like EDM, hardstyle, or just hip-hop.
To round things up, Toronto is a much bigger city, much more populated. It has an emphasis on an urban environment, and its nightlife is tremendous, but it lacks any activities that involve nature.
And for Vancouver, there are hundreds of different daytime activities for you to explore, but unfortunately, you might have to be a little bit older to properly enjoy the overall nightlife of Vancouver. We hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let us know down below what you guys want to see compared next, and we'll see you guys on Sunday with our first weekly vlog. Bye guys.